U.S. military presence in Lithuania is part of the NATO treaty that we've had for over 20 years. This summer, I believe, for the NATO alliance, for Lithuania's participation in the NATO alliance. This is a treaty that we have with the European nations, and one that we have honored and very grateful for. During the invasion of Afghanistan, when the first time Article 5 was triggered, European nations came to the aid of America. And I was a captain then in the 75th Ranger Regiment during the invasion of Afghanistan. And I'll never forget looking across that airplane hangar and seeing all my brothers and sisters from European nations. And the same type of commitment is honored by U.S. troops today. The American commitment is ironclad. This is a treaty that was passed in our Congress over 75 years ago. It takes a 2/3 majority in both sides of the legislature to change. So America's not going anywhere. Well, now more than ever, we have a new partner coming from Scandinavia and Sweden. Great news. More terrain, more challenging for our adversary. And it only strengthens the alliance for what I call the business end of NATO, the northern arc that starts in Poland and goes all the way through the Baltics into Scandinavia. So that expanding the terrain creates more complexity. Bringing more capability to bear helps strengthen the alliance. So this is a very unique time for this part of NATO, and having conferences like this is where relationships continue to forge. We learn from each other, and we help deal with problems that we face at home and abroad. On the personal side, my wife is born of Lithuanian immigrants who were pushed out of Lithuania for the first couple years of their life. They spent 5 of the first 7 years in refugee camps and ultimately immigrated to America. My father-in-law, Faust, was born in Panevėžys, and my mother-in-law, Nuta, was born in Vilkaviškis. And they immigrated through Ellis Island in New York City and moved to Chicago and spent the last 7.5 decades in the south side of Chicago. And I've learned a lot about Lithuanian culture and the resiliency of the people, the pride and loyalty. So it's very important and very personal to me. What I would tell all Lithuanian people, you're resilient, you're strong, and every day you continue to build stronger deterrence. The Iron Wolf Brigade, 4% investment in GDP. Your support of Ukraine is the standard among other NATO nations. It's shown a lot of character, and nothing I would expect that, quite frankly, after 20 years of my relationship with my wife and really understanding Lithuanian culture. But I think every day we got to work to get a little bit better and continue to make it to a point where the thought of something to happen in this part of the world is unthinkable. But it takes partners to do that. And conferences like this will help us only get better.